Good morning, Mets fans, and welcome to a Thursday morning edition of Driving with Mr. Met. I am Mr. Met, and as Michael Corleone once said in The Godfather Part 3, just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Yesterday I was ready to concede the season and give up and sell, and then last night the Mets play a good game behind great pitching from Jacob deGrom, and I feel like I've jumped the gun. I'm very schizophrenic about this right now. I'm not sure which end is up, but I really wish that I could see more of the team that played last night and the team that played the previous two games. So as I said, Jacob deGrom has continued his just really terrific string of starts and great efforts, and if you take his two stinkers out of there, the back-to-back bad starts where he got shelled, his ERA's got to be close to 2 right now. And I mean, in a league where at this point in the season there are so few pitchers who've been able to control their ERAs, in this new long ball era that we find ourselves in, Jacob deGrom has been an absolute gem for the Mets. I mean, he's been the stopper. He's been exactly what we thought we were going to get every fifth day. I'm sorry, not every fifth day, every day. Because we were expecting Jacob and Matt and Noah and Steven and Lugo and Wheeler and everybody else to be on the top of their game from the beginning of the season. And, look at it. I mean, what a difference it would have made if the entire staff would be pitching the way that Jacob deGrom is pitching. He's won his last 7 starts, and as Ron Darling pointed out last night, the team just can't seem to get out of its own way, because despite the fact that Jake has won 7 straight, earned 7 straight victories, the Mets have yet to be over 500 during that stretch. It's sad. But on the bright side, the team, as I said, looked pretty good last night. They looked solid in the field. They looked a lot crisper. And I wonder a lot of times when we saw the really poor defense on Tuesday night with Montero on the mound, and then we saw the team play defense last night, it almost looked as though the team had a pep in its step last night. They were like more willing to make crisper plays. And I'm just always curious if the old adage of they're playing behind a guy who works fast and who's consistent and solid and doesn't walk guys and doesn't get behind in the count, keeps them in the game, keeps them engaged. I'm just wondering how much all of that really plays in here. Like, if Montero were not such a terrible pitcher, would the defense be a little bit better behind him? I don't know. I've always wondered that. I always wondered how much truth there was to that opinion. And, it looks like there might be some truth to it, because the defense looked really, really, really good last night. With, of course, the exception of the 7th inning where a double play ball was dropped, and then a strikeout was overturned, and then deGrom gave up his run. So yeah, last night was fun, and there were no home runs, which is kind of surprising. No home runs hit in the game by the Mets, who live and die by the home run. Nice to see them scoring with actual hits instead of home runs. And nice to see them bunching some hits together, especially with 2 outs. Now, obviously, Mike Leake didn't have it last night, but again, it was still nice to see. Despite the game last night, despite the fun time I had watching the game last night, I'm still on the it's time to sell bandwagon. And I want to comment on something that I'd read on Twitter. A lot of people kind of slamming Sandy Alderson for letting the Yankees get Todd Frazier and David Robertson from the White Sox. And I mean, I'm sorry, but you people will have no idea. Like, some of the comments were, "Oh, it's nice to have a general manager who works 4 hours a week. It's nice to have a general manager who spends most of his time in California," and stuff like that. And it's just aggravating and stupid. Look, the general opinion around baseball was that this was the package. This was the number, the A package for a lot of teams, Todd Frazier and David Robertson. And the general consensus now that the trade is done is that someone like Lucas Duda, someone like Addison Reed, perhaps the two of them together, or perhaps swap Blevins for Reed, or perhaps think of something else. But because Frazier and Robertson are off of the board and are no longer available, it makes the Mets' options more attractive to other teams. So I think these keyboard general managers on the Twitter, on the Mets Twitter, need to just chill a little bit and realize that despite his swing and a miss on Daniel Murphy and Justin Turner, who both, by the way, are numbers 1 and 2, Turner number 1, Murphy number 2 in batting average in the National League. Just because Sandy whiffed on them doesn't mean he's not a smart guy. He is a smart guy. He's done a very good job with trades for this team in the past, and I have every bit of confidence that he'll do a good job with trades again. And this is a big opportunity for him. It's an opportunity for him to improve this team, both in the short term for 2017 rather, and also for next year in 2018. Because I, for one, am very hopeful that Cabrera is able to be moved and the Duda is able to be moved, and that we can get to see finally Dom Smith and Ahmed Rosario up at the major league level. So that's going to wrap it up for today. I'm glad you guys were able to stop by and watch the video. I appreciate you doing so. If you're not already following me on Twitter, you can do so at Mr_Met. That's MISTER_MET. And as always, let's go Mets.